Peter King, thank you very much for your very interesting piece on electoral matters in Australia. What you said, which was particularly controversial, you said that the Australian Electoral Commission is no longer impartial.
David, I've become very concerned looking at the way in which the AEC in the past has adopted an independent and impartial role, for example, in addressing the developing problem with postal votes, but in more recent years it's dropped that role and it's promoted amendments to the Act which I think have led to a quite unsatisfactory situation in respect of postal voting.
You said something about the Lindsay election, the last federal election in Lindsay. What happened there that causes you concern?
Well, in that election, more than 2,500 postal vote applications were lodged through the local member's office, which, according to the Act, should have been lodged directly with the divisional returning officer. That meant that the information, the private information that is contained in a postal vote application was made available to the sitting member and in breach of privacy provisions and indeed in breach of the Electoral Act. And you might want to call it harvesting of votes, but in any event it seems to me the election was wrongly influenced in that way.
And you mentioned also the seat of Robertson. What happened there?
Similar thing happened there. Again, a very large number of postal vote applications were sent not to the member's office because you may recall that the former member was sacked, but the new candidate for the ALP arranged for her applications to be sent to the Robertson Postal Voting Centre, which was not an address that appeared on the AEC website, even though it appeared to be an AEC address.
And what happened in relation to Verity Firth? Verity Firth is standing for the coming state election. Apparently notices went out from her office, invitations went out from her office before the election period.
Right. In fact, the election period in New South Wales is yet formally to begin. Notwithstanding that, it seems more than 3 weeks ago, postal vote applications with electoral material of a campaign nature was sent out by sitting members, apparently paid for by the public, suggesting to people that they should make postal vote applications, the result of which meant that they would go to the member's office. Now again, that's a redirection of the vote. The relationship should be between the elector and the divisional returning officer for the particular seat, not between the candidate who successfully harvests postal vote applications, takes the information and then may or may not lodge them with the DRO. Postal voting is a privilege. It's not simply a form of early voting. It's a privilege on certain conditions. For example, that a person is sick, can't make it to polling day because they're overseas or the like. It's not just an alternative to attending on polling day and voting with everybody else. And that's the problem with this sort of application. It's creating a whole new arrangement which is ultimately undemocratic and leads to unrepresentative results.